SEO, ranking on the search engines, is a combination of guesswork and science, proven methods, although it's constantly changing. So even what's proven is subject to change quickly. So we use tools that guide us and help us pay attention to what's happening in the market and what's happening with our pages, and we can use these to improve our own efforts. So some of this we can base on our own experience and our own skills, and then sometimes it's better to go to the tools and actually use some of these strategies to improve our methods. Well, in today's video, I want to talk about SEMrush's On-Page SEO Checker. Now, yesterday, I went ahead and did this for the first time, and I set up a few of my top pages that generate a lot of traffic. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 samples here. And I went through each one. I spent hours and hours, went through each one, and I took the suggestions and I did some of these suggestions. I didn't do the backlinks yet, but I did a lot of the other suggestions, which I'm going to show you. I wasn't looking for perfection. I was looking for progress, and I wanted to make some changes and see what kind of results this actually gave me. Well, overnight, all of these rose on the search engines, every single one of them, for some of the keywords that I was working on. Each page has lots of keywords that it ranks for, but I focused on certain ones with each of these pages because I was focusing on a single focus keyword for each page, okay? So the first one I have here is Summerlin Mall, and then I have the Las Vegas Real Estate Market Report. I have Owner Will Carry Homes. I have Mother-in-Law Quarters and Desert Shores. So there's a variety of pages in there, from hyperlocal to niches to neighborhoods. So a nice combination, and it worked with all of them. So let me show you over here. If I click on my top moving pages that moved into the top 10, you can see here Owner Will Carry Homes was one of them. Desert Shores was another one. Owner Will Carry was another one. And I actually pulled up each one of these pages individually for multiple keywords, and they all rose after doing this just yesterday. So there is definitely something to this. Now let me show you how this works. Here's how I do it. So the first thing I do is I go over to my Search Console. So it's a good idea to have Search Console set up so that you can, let me log in here, so that you could actually measure which keywords and pages are bringing the most traffic, so you know where to work on first, okay? So typically working on your highest volume keywords is a good strategy. Another good strategy might be just to work on all of your pages that are ranking on top of page 2, and you want to move those to ranking on page 1. You can do a sort and filter and find all of your pages that are on page 2 and follow these optimization strategies. So either way, you can start with your high volume, which is going to be harder to move significantly, or you can start with your page 2 keywords pages that are ranking, and they'll probably be easier to bump up and move to page 1, which could lead to a significant result in traffic. So let me show you how both of those work here. So if I'm in Search Console, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to find my website, and I'm going to go down to Search Traffic. And then I'm going to go to Search Analytics. And right now we're looking at the past 20 days. We can change this to the last 90 days. So let's just go ahead and do this. I know the new Google Search Console, I believe, is in beta, is going to have further back dates. But let's just do the last 90 days, which is really fine. And then I'm going to go look at I'm going to look at position. And that's really all I need for this particular study we're doing here. All right, so let me check mine and let me move these from position 1 down. Okay. Now, what I can see here is I've got a ton ranking at number 1 with 0 search volume. Now, that doesn't actually mean nobody searches them. It might just be that Google doesn't have enough data. They're a trending keyword, things like that. I actually get quite a bit of traffic from ones that are not tracks that have a 0 or are significantly small. So if I wanted to go do volume, I would start looking at, for some reason, when I try to sort this by volume, it doesn't work. So I could export this to a spreadsheet and then sort by volume highest to lowest. If I'm skimming, I can go down here and go, okay, Christmas lights neighborhood, 1,600 searches a month. Do I want to go in and optimize that? Well, Christmas was last month. I'm really not into doing anything at this point and changing that. So I'm going to leave my Christmas ones alone. Now I could do some better searches and do some filters and exclude certain words. I'm just showing you for the sake of today. So here's a good one, retiring in Las Vegas. All right, well, I'm already in the top position. There's nothing I need to do there. So I would keep scrolling down and I would kind of go like that. So now let me go ahead and drop this down to 500 rows so that we can see more. And let me go down to like position 2. And now I can look and go, okay, St. Joseph Statue Real Estate has 170. Does that keyword serve me, and would it serve me more to get into position number 1 if I'm not already? Let's see who is St. Joseph Statue Real Estate. So if I click that little button, it'll open the SERP. Oh, I am number 1 today. Let me do an incognito window. Hold on. What's the keyword phrase? St. Joseph Statue. So SEMrush is going to give you data from the last time it pulled. Yeah, I'm already number 1, so I'm not going to worry about that. Maybe I don't know why. Yeah, so I'm already number 1, so I'm not going to mess with that one. All right, so then I'm going to keep going down here. Whoops, where are we at? Search console. All right, let me take a look at and see if there's anything else good and significant. Okay, retirement Las Vegas. Okay, so this guy's number 1, and then I'm number 2. Now, what I want to be careful of, though, is I already have the number 1 spot for other keywords relating to this page. So what I don't want to do is edit a page and then lose my number 1 position for a particular keyword because I'm trying to optimize it for a second keyword. So we want to be cautious about that. Well, let's go ahead and take this one and say this is that we really want to go for this retirement Las Vegas. I haven't done this page, so let's go ahead and take this page. So I'm going to copy this link. Actually, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to my view all pages and ideas. Now, what you can do here, you can import all of your pages from Google Search Console, and you can actually use filters. If you click right here, import from Google Search Console, you can say, I only want to import pages that are in this position. So like, let's just say you want to work on page 2. So you can say 11 to 20. I'm only going to work today on pages that are in position 11 through 20. It's great strategy, by the way. Great strategy. In fact, I would suggest that you do that first before you go after high volume keywords. In fact, let's just take it. Well, I've already got them in here. Once, depending on what your membership is, your membership level, it's only going to let you import a certain number of pages without purchasing more. And I think I'm at that max. So that's why I paused right there and I'm not going to import it. So let's go. So that's an example of how you import it. But I think I already have this page in here. So let me go click on retire. There it is. Okay. So now let's go ahead and run this one. I'm going to click this little spin. And now it's going to collect the data on it. And it's going to give us SEO suggestions for things we can do on this page. Now I've showed you SEMrush's. Oh, by the way, if you haven't tried SEMrush, I have a link for you. It's going to be in this video, in the write-up there. Also, go to loristools.com. That's LORISTOOLS.com, loristools.com. All of the software and products that I use, not that pay me to use them, although I may have some affiliate relationships, I list everything I use regardless of the relationship, and I don't list anything that I'm not using. So that page is the tools that I'm actively using, or have used in the recent past. Could be a change in there here or there, but I've used those tools. Okay, so here we go. Retiring in Nevada. Okay, that's the phrase we're actually going for, isn't it? Retirement Las Vegas. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And there's 6 ideas here. So let's go ahead and click on those ideas. Now, we open this page, and a lot of times, if you're doing SEO at a high level, a lot of these things will already be green because you're following best practices, right? So in my case, my SEO strategy needs no improvement. There's no keyword cannibalization, which means I don't have multiple pages trying to rank for the same keyword phrase. So that's perfect, okay? Then we scroll down, and here's the keywords it's measuring, by the way. Retiring in Nevada. Is Las Vegas a good place to retire? You know what? Let me try something here, because this is the keyword phrase I want. Retire. We know that I'm ranking for that phrase, but Search Console isn't pulling, SEMrush isn't pulling that up for some reason. Where did that go? Retirement, Las Vegas. Okay, so let me try something here. I think I can add that keyword. Hold on. We're going to go view all pages. Yep. Import. That page for this keyword, retirement, Las Vegas. I think this will work. Collect ideas. Okay, there we go. So in this particular case, I put in the specific page, and then I put in the specific keyword, retirement. I'm checking if it worked. Looks like it did. Let me click on this now, rerun it. So some of the pages will tell you automatically some of the keywords they're suggesting, and then it looks like we can manually add the keyword that we want to run it for as well. So it's analyzing. You can see this little bar right here tells you how far it is in the process. Okay, it's done. So now let's check it out. 6 ideas. Yeah, it worked. See? Retirement Las Vegas. Okay, so this is the one I'm focused on. So, okay, perfect. No other pages are trying to rank for that keyword. If there is a high probability that your page may appear in a featured snippet, we'll tell you. That is the coolest thing. I did that yesterday. My Las Vegas zip codes page, which is my 2018 goal, which hit number 7 today, by the way. Very excited about that. It was 60,400 monthly searches. This will tell you if you could potentially earn a featured snippet. So if that search query has the chance of earning a featured snippet, it tells me that, so that I know when to go. I know to go back in and make sure I'm doing questions and answers. I've got my schema markup. You know, that I'm doing everything I can to earn that snippet. That's so cool. Okay. Now, focus on creating more informative content. You're probably going to see this a whole lot. So if I click on see detailed analysis, this is really the main thing I was changing yesterday. What you're able to see here is, first of all, how long your content is compared to somebody else's content. Okay. So keep in mind, I'm already ranking. I already have a featured snippet for what do I have a featured snippet for? Hold on. Retire. I need to see which one it is. I know it's retire. Okay, there's one. I didn't even know I had that one. I think it's retiring in Las Vegas. Okay, yeah, so I've got a featured snippet for several keywords already around there, and then I'm ranking up here already. So even without adding more content, I'm already ranking very high on there. So that doesn't concern me, because I'm already ranking well for that page with other keywords. So I really don't feel like I need to go in and add any more content. I might go over here and look at keyword usage now. And it tells me if I'm going after the keyword phrase retirement Las Vegas, I've used the keyword phrase 1.67 times. I've used it in my title. I've used it in an H1. I've used it in a meta description. So I've already covered all that really well. Might even be a tad over optimized because I used it 11 times. Then let's go look at semantic keywords. Interesting. So this is my favorite part of the On-Page SEO Checker. And what it does is it measures semantically related keywords. I started to say before, I've already showed you how to use the SEO content template, which is up here. when you're under your main page. SEO content template suggests related keywords before you build the content, okay? This one does it after you build the content, and they'll be different. Because once you create all your content, then SEMrush has a better idea of what your topic is, and it can better suggest semantically related keywords, okay? So it is suggesting Lake Tahoe, which does not really apply to my page because I'm writing about Las Vegas, but Silver State could, small town, if I want to refer maybe to Henderson or something, or Pahrump. I could probably include tax rates in there. Okay, so what I would do now is I would open my page right here. That's exactly what I did yesterday, and it made a huge improvement. All right, let's go ahead. This is the page that's already ranking well. Now let's go in and look at if we can add some of these semantically related keywords and give this any kind of a bump for this number 2 position. Okay, so it said tax rate. So let's see what I have for tax. Tax rate, taxed, taxed, taxed. Okay, so I might want to put something in here about a tax rate of some sort, okay? So if I go over here and do something like tax rate, Nevada, okay, that's not right. Isn't that funny? You trust Google, right? And it returns a result that isn't correct. This is correct. Oh, I guess it's an average depending on, because here we're higher than that. So I'm in Clark County, so ours is 8.25%. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to put this as like a fact. Like a frequently asked question. What is the existing sales tax rate in Clark County, Nevada? Now, might that be of interest to somebody who's moving to Las Vegas that's going to live out the rest of their life here? Potentially. So I'll make that a heading 2, and I'm going to put the answer. The existing sales tax rate for Clark County, Nevada is 8.25%. And I'm just going to put today's date so we can see when it was updated. And I'll make that a heading 3. Cool. Okay, so now we've added the word tax rate based on their suggestion. Now let me put in, I'll come back and put in my borders. Okay, so next we have, let's take a look at this. We would have Silver State. Okay, so let me see where I've written Nevada in here. Is that the Silver State senior citizen population? There we go. Now I added the word Silver State. So this is how you do semantically related keywords. Largest city. Okay, well that would be Las Vegas in Nevada. So let's see if I can see. I'll put it under frequently asked questions. You know, I'm going to change this just to facts. And I'll do it like this. Oh, bullet points. There we go. Las Vegas is the largest city by population in Nevada. Another popular place to retire is Lake Tahoe. I'm getting in these other semantically related keywords here. Carson City is the capital, so I'm going to put that in here. Carson City is the capital of Nevada. So I'm only, if they don't make sense, I'm not going to put them in here. Property taxes. Okay, I had to have mentioned property taxes somewhere. Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to do that when I'm not on the call here, because that one's going to take a little bit more write-up. Actually, what I could do, hold on, property tax, ballenvegas.com. I have an article on property taxes. So here's what we'll do. We'll pull a portion of that. Okay. Oh, there's a calculator. No. Here it is. Okay. All right. So what I could do here is do another little portion on Nevada property taxes. Now what I'll do is tomorrow when I check this, we're going to make sure that that adding this extra content doesn't dilute the efforts in my top ranking phrases. Hopefully this will improve it. Okay, so, and I'm going to link to my Nevada property tax page, because we want to make sure that still keeps the rankings for property tax and that we don't cannibalize that keyword. Okay, and then we're going to look over here, privacy policy. Okay, crime rate I'm not going to talk about. Places to retire. Okay, I just did that. What I did, Tahoe. Another popular. Okay, let's do it this way. Lake Tahoe is also on the list of places to retire. Okay. So we got that. I think that's all the keyword phrases I want to add now. So then we would update it, and then we're going to go back in and check it. Okay. So once you've done that, there's also a backlink suggestion in here. And there are some locations on here that they are suggesting you go get a backlink from. So what I would do is I would open this, and I would take a look at this and say, okay, is there a way to get an article or an advertisement or something that has my link in it on this page? On Business Weekly? Yeah, possibly. Running a real estate ad, running a listing ad, running something back to this page, potentially. So I'm going to come back to that, but I want to show it to you. senioradvice.com, we're going to click on that one. Cool, I've never even seen this one. Okay, so I would go through and check out each one of these. And what I'm looking for is there a place to is there a forum, a chatting forum where we can answer a great question and put in a link? Is there a sponsored opportunity? Like this one has a sponsored opportunity right here. Is there a sponsored opportunity that has a link? Where else can I put a link? But now what you want to make sure is if you put a link anywhere, you get an article posted or anything like that, that your link now goes back to this page, not just your domain. It needs to be the full link here, because you want that link juice, which is such an old term. You want that link equity to flow to this page here. You want that page to be the advantage. Okay, so you see that? So you can do all that. It is amazing what can happen if you get one good backlink. And then video usage is another cool thing. So it tells you whether or not your competitors have video. Now, in my case, I'm the only one that does have video. So see how it says has video, has video, has video. So if your competitors, I cannot believe this is still happening where people are not using video. So if your competitors don't have video, you have the advantage there. So again, makes sense why mine's in a top position. So what we're looking at is your keyword usage. We're looking at semantically related keywords. We're looking at your backlinks. We're looking at your content length, and we're looking at your video usage. Now, if you go back to page ideas, there's a couple more. Making your text readable. This is something I struggle with incredibly. And I guess what I'm going to have to do at this point is hire an editor to come in behind me and make things more readable, because I'm never going to sit down and learn that in this lifetime, nor do I really care to. But there is a readability score, and it basically, the lower the score, the harder it is to read. The higher the score, the easier it is to read, according to whoever's checking the readability. So it has to do with passive voice. It has to do with sentence structure. And this isn't something I'm specifically natural at, okay? It's so funny. One of my developers for my marketing company, Ballen Brands, he makes, my whole team makes these videos for our YouTube channel. And when he makes his videos, he pre-writes his scripts, and they always pass the readability factor. He's just one of those guys that just naturally writes in that type of format. So depending on where you fall on that spectrum, you'll have to decide what's right for you. But how much this plays into ranking is debatable. From what I've understood, it's not a direct ranking factor. But we do want our content, obviously, to be readable. So what I did notice about my page is that I need to go back in and break up some of the heavy chunk in there, heavy chunks of text. I noticed, because this is an older one, before we were really doing a lot of white space. So for example, anywhere I've got a couple sentences, I want to break those up. 1 or 2 sentences is what I'm looking at. If I have more than that, or it's a long sentence, I need to put a space in there and break those up. This makes for better readability, okay? And that's important. And then I also like to put little borders in there, page lines, so somebody can click it and scroll up to top in between the sections. It looks like this. And I can go to insert shortcode, divider, and I'm going to put in this little divider, or I could use my brew dividers if I want to break it up. This is an older blog post. So, and then also, once I clean this all up and I fix my, I'll take a look. One of the readability score elements is when your sentences are too long. And a lot of my writers, I do use ghostwriters, and I have professional writers for my marketing company at Ballen Brands. They tend to write long sentences and work to make them sound complex. And with the readability score, they want the opposite. The readability score wants sentences to be simple and short. And so part of making that readability score better is to go in and make any sentence that's long shorter, break it up into 2 sentences. And even vocabulary that could be considered too advanced for the average reader isn't suggested on writing anymore, because the readability factor, you want a kid to be able to read this and understand what you're talking about. And so you don't want to necessarily dumb it down, but at the same time, you want to watch too super advanced vocabulary. So that's just a touch on that. And like I said, that's not something that's, I would say, is my specialty at this point. So if you're like me, it's a good idea to write your content or publish your content and have an editor come in behind and clean up that readability score if that matters to you. And in my particular case, I'm not the lowest, but I could improve for sure. I'll have to do a test on that. If I clean up everything else on a page and I get the backlinks and the only thing left is the readability, and I'm at number 3 trying to push number 1, maybe I'll change it and see if it makes any difference. But I haven't tested it yet. So something to consider there. So if you have anything here that's not green, you're going to want to go in and fix those. Make sure your title tag is being used correctly, that there's no duplicate content, that your page is not blocked from crawling. You want to make sure that your page speed is fast enough, and that your bounce rate isn't too high. And in this particular case, those are 2 things I could definitely improve. And I'll have to look at why that might be testing at a 5-second load, because that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting under 3-second load on my checker. So I'll take a look at that. And bounce rate being high is something that you can constantly work on improving. So in my case, if I want to improve this bounce rate, I might want to put a great call to action up top and test it. So right now I have my call to action is find out how much your home is worth. And I just realized, oh no, it's click to see just listed homes on the map. So I just added this call to action to work on reducing the bounce rate, by the way. I just did that last week. So I said, that bounce rate's too high. Let's put a call to action right up top and see if we can get some better interaction. So we'll have to check that and see what happens. I also added the video last week. So that's a recent addition as well. So that's how we constantly work to improve. Another thing I could do is just put a little tiny carousel of homes right here, that they could slide through, something like that to get them clicking on the page. Because a bounce rate is when they land on your page and they don't do anything. They don't click anywhere, they don't interact, they leave. So in order to improve a bounce rate, we need to get them clicking, taking action, right? And so that's one of the ways to do that. So that's your lesson today on the SEO content checker. And maybe what I'll do is come back and do each portion in smaller, shorter chunks as well. Today was an overview and it works. I was so impressed with the results today. I had to make a video. All right. Thanks for joining me today.